stress was about getting in the egg. That was the stress for her. And she had done unbelievable research. She had read everything on our website. She knew, she even brought her sister in as moral support for her to get in the egg. Not only that, she's claustrophobic. So she's only had 3 sessions. And unbeknownst to me in the beginning, she didn't share with me, or I didn't pick it up or whatever, when we were doing the ANS reset, that she had had an automobile accident. And I don't know how long ago it was, because I went back in after I talked to her yesterday and checked her intake, and there was nothing about an auto accident, no trauma or anything else. So what she shared with me yesterday, she goes, oh my gosh. She said, I had an automobile accident and she was hit in the side of the head, and it affected her sinuses and her sense of smell. And she had 3 neurologists tell her that she may or may not ever get her smell back. She's had 3 sessions in the egg. Yesterday, I opened up the egg after she was done, and she said, oh my God, my sinuses are wide open. And she said, I can smell. She said, since the first one, I've been getting my sense of smell back, and I was told that I may not ever get it back. And she said, she was beside herself, absolutely beside herself.
I wanted to share a cool story that we had. We had a guy, 42 years old. He had a stroke. He called me from the hospital, and I could tell, you know, his speech was very slurred and everything. When he got out of the hospital, he came in for a session. His right hand and arm was completely immobile, and he couldn't raise his arm, you know, more than a little bit. And when he was walking into the center, I could see he was very unsteady on his feet. And so we did an egg session, and when he got out, he said he had a little bit of movement in his thumb, his right thumb. And he said his whole hand and arm where it was afflicted was tingling during the session. The left side of his brain where it happens was tingling during the session. And 2 days later, we talked to him, and he said, because they weren't going to give him any physical therapy for a while. But he actually did finally get in, and he said he had gone from, he said he thought it was about a 50% improvement. He had gone from being able to, you know, when they test the hand strength, he was able to exert 2 pounds of pressure before he left the hospital. He was at 20 pounds of pressure 2 days later. And then he came in the following week and had his second session. And I could tell he was walking straight. He was walking faster. His speech was really good. He was doing this with his fingers. He couldn't do his pinky yet, and he could raise his arm up. He was like he was so thrilled because he's a software engineer, and he was so anxious to get back to work, and he needs his hands. And yeah, so he was just super thrilled. And he did say, he told his doctor, and his doctor couldn't believe it, that he was that far progressed.
Had rheumatoid arthritis, extremely bad in her hands. When she came in, her hands were literally like this. So she bought the 10 sessions, and then she became a monthly member. And when I have people sit in the egg and do their intention, I always have people put their hands in prayer. And last week, for the first time when she came in, she could totally straighten out her fingers and put her hands in complete prayer. Full mobility in her fingers, where when she came in, they were so gnarly and locked up, she couldn't even pick up a cup. Now she's playing golf.
Working with our 25-year-old autistic girl, and her mom said yesterday, she said, the difference that I'm seeing in her on a day-to-day basis. One of the things that I think is interesting, and she has a mom that is so supportive and has just been amazing with her, is that she said she's starting to express her emotions. For a while, she was really upset. She said, but what I see happening is that she's actually starting to express her emotions. So she's seeing a lot of changes, and this is a non-verbal, can't feed herself, needs a caregiver around the clock, autism. Anyway, so that's a really good success story to be able to have them come in.